After a little bit of examination on the type of carrier that is sitting down here, I've come to the conclusion that I'm going to have to mount these a little more straight up and down, which is going to require me to make a lower perch down at the bottom of these axles. Still doesn't go below the original U-bolt carrier set, but it requires a little adaptation. So we're going to weld these up and then cut them, and then it's going to actually mount like that with the axle going this way. You'll see it in the next part of the video. So watch for that, and we'll weld it, come out about 2.5 inches, and cut these, and then I'll put a piece of brace metal down at the bottom to make it as strong as this, and that way I've got myself an additional inch and a half to make that fit. Alright guys, this is the change that was made. This is the small shock that we have on here. Now up here in the top I have it to where I took this regular little carrier and mounted it like so, and then just cut off the excess going across, as you can see back over here. And the shock is now mounted, and if you can see the amount of travel, I have the equal amount of travel between the top of these bolts and the bottom of the frame. And there is a slight dent marks in this frame, so where this has hit it before. This will stop all of that. Now this has got 1 inch more of travel than this does, and this has been compressed 1 7/8 of an inch to get it to fit in here and then clamp down. And down here at the bottom is the perch made down here at the bottom for it to mount on. Ain't none of it cleaned up yet. And that shock is installed in the trailer now. So you see the reason that it was put on this side is because of the swing effect of this set of spring carriers right here allow the travel on this side, so it allows it to do this like that with the axle, and that way this absorbs the shock. And it's the reverse over here, so we'll be putting the next one right over here on this side where I'll have the same thing with it mounted. And my 1/4 inch hold, which is on this, on the shock, it does stick up above here about just about 1/16 of an inch. So what I'm going to do is when I put my wood on here, the rubber strips that go on here to keep my wood from my expansion of the wood from splitting, I put down rubber strips on top of this. It should get past that. If it not, it'll put a little small indentation in the wood, and that's about it. So there's your shock mount for your average little flatbed trailer. You can use this on cargo trailers, box trailers, and I've already put that little link down there where I got these at, or the Gabriel opposites of them. So let's take a look over here right quick, and I'll measure these to show you what you're working with travel and everything if you can't get to the lengths of where this is made at, okay? All right, so the total length of what you're dealing with on this shock is a grand total of 15 7/8. Now that is point to point. However, you want to make sure that you have a little bit of the shock traveling downward before you install it. So you don't want to make your spacing exactly what this one's spacing is. In my case, this is the entire length of the shock minus the rubber pads that go on it, the isolator mounts. So we're looking at 10.5 inches. So I set mine up at about 9 1/4, and then when I put the rubber pads on it, that allows me basically plenty of travel, so if my frame lifts, it won't jerk and break the shock. Now this frame is empty, and right now it's going to have an additional 500 pounds of wood put on it, side framing, fenders, so it will drop down about another 1/2 inch, but it'll still give me a lot of shock control down there, a lot of shock control as a result of having these on here. And when these old junky cracked up tires are removed off of here, we don't want to destroy a new set of tires. These tires have actually was on this trailer, and they're trashed. They've got chalk marks in them where they've just they've just chewed themselves up. So this shock is a premium item for this kind of work. And as I said in the previous video, don't worry about this. There's a special seal down in here, a scrubber seal that will keep this clean. And I've even have grinding powder got all over this, and I pushed it down once and it came up and it was just perfectly clean. So didn't leave any residue down there either. I'd say this is exactly what you're looking for most RVs, fifth wheels, horse trailers. I mean, horses don't want to be beat up by bad tires or rough tires. That's an excellent idea right there. So, all right, that's a pretty simple mount, very strong. These aren't designed to carry weight, but they're designed to resist bouncing when you're going down the highway. And especially when you're empty, these things will bounce. All these trailers bounce. All right, there you go.